Oh, that's sweet, sweet nostalgia. Look at him flying in. It's our good boy Kirby and Kirby Superstar. Hey guys, I'm Sonic Ghost.
Not just any Kirby. It's 16-bit Kirby.
Oh man.
Okay, that's Axedude26 and that's Matt's LP Adventures, and this is a Kirby.
Yes, hey guys, Axedude26 here, and I forgot to do my intro.
And I'm Matt from Matt's LP Adventures, and we just talked about this.
How many times are we gonna play a Kirby game and be like, we forgot to do the intro, didn't we?
This is a common thing with Kirby's.
So, wait, you already just deciding to play the minigames first?
Yeah, well, in Kirby Superstar, as you can see right away, like the couple seconds here on the menu, you have a couple different modes, but the two that really don't matter for 100% completion and unlocking other modes in general are these two side games. So we're going to show them off first. This is Megaton Punch. The goal here is just basically to punch the hardest. That's it.
Remember how I told you in the Dreamland playthrough that Kirby can crack a planet? This is what I was referencing.
Oh yeah, he can split the planet in pieces. Like, if you get a perfect in all three of these timing-based games, the whole planet just splits apart.
Yeah.
It's real hard to do, but it's really cool if you can do it.
And it's not the first time he's gonna do this. It's not the first time he's gonna be seen doing this.
This is true. Yeah, that's basically that game. You can play it with a friend if you want. But now the next one, which is way harder in comparison, this is Samurai Kirby. And I'm playing this on beginner, and spoilers, we don't win. Simply because the timing on this is super strict. And here's for reference sake, I'm recording this game off of my actual Super Nintendo. I played this on a CRT, so I have 0 input delay. Still can't beat this game on beginner.
Yikes.
It's really difficult.
It's just a little hammer just popping in the head.
So the goal of this is basically just to attack the quickest in order to win. And you go through a variety of different enemies here. Some bosses and some just standard enemies from the Kirby series.
Also an awfully familiar minigame.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I think they showed this in the GBA games too. They had the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a game like this. Like, this is actually a game from Kirby's Adventure. It's just retooled from a Western game to a samurai game.
Yeah.
Now, so you have to beat 11 frames here, which is really hard.
Remember when I was trying to do this against Meta Knight in the race extra, Matt? Nightmare in Dreamland is like, draw, darn it, Meta Knight.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I've never been able to beat that, ever. I've always tied at the most.
One time I inadvertently managed to get 1.
That is insane.
I have never been able to replicate it.
Oh, you're a robot?
I don't think I'm a robot.
I will not admit my secrets.
I mean, my internet wants to tell me differently. I need a monster to clobber that there Kirby with the cakes.
But can someone hold my apple? Not done with that yet. So this is Gourmet Race. The goal of this basically is to beat DD to the finish line, but an extra incentive is there's a whole bunch of food throughout the course, and you want to collect as much as you can for more points. The higher your score is, the more likely you're also able to beat DD. So even if you don't get first in every race, if you beat him in raw score with the food, you can still win.
I love this, and I think this is the first time we've... Is this the first time we've actually heard Gourmet Race?
Yeah, this is where that theme really started.
Yeah, because technically, technically you've got... You do technically have the slower version of it when you fight him at the Fountain of Dreams in Kirby's Adventure. And you do get it in one of these Sand Canyon levels in Kirby's Dreamland 3. But this is the iconic. This is the iconic version. Oh, and
Yeah.
of course, Cornhole. Cornhole, the second racetrack, which is way underrated. Also, YouTube to heck and back.
Yeah. That's pretty much YouTube with music in general. Not a great platform for listening to your favorite songs.
No. even though I end up listening, even though I have a function in there with the mix playlist to do exactly that.
Well, my favorite thing about the mix playlist is half of the things in there are not songs. So you're like, okay, I'm listening to my favorite music, and then all of a sudden I got this review going on about this, like, weird movie that came out. Oh, that's not supposed to be in here.
Your related suggestions were not related whatsoever, other than the fact that they're a video.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I've just been lucky, but my mix playlist has had all music in it, thankfully. So maybe I just was
Yeah,
lucky.
well, a majority of my mixed playlists for music have had music. I've had those oddballs where sometimes not. But it really just depends on how the video's set up. If it's like half music and half like a podcast or something, it confuses the system.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I don't know what Deity's doing back there, but I hope he's having fun. We're already done.
Yeah.
All the way to the back corner too, yikes.
Yeah. Wing is the best power for that because you really want horizontal movement in that map. Jet can be a good one too, but I swear Wing is just faster for that race.
I always use Parasol.
Parasol could be a pretty okay one too because of the extra range you can have with your attack.
Oh, by the way, mild seizure warning for the random flashing lights in that scene. I forgot that happens, and I'm just like, man, that actually kind of hurt my eyes a little bit.
They do tone this down a bit for the DS version.
Yeah, thankfully.
Alright, so let's go ahead and play ourselves some Kirby's Dream Land on the Super Nintendo.
Key interesting thing, the original SNES version of Superstar doesn't actually have the title theme of Dreamland for Spring Breeze. The DS version does.
Yeah, they did fix that for the DS version. We should mention how this is structured, because there is technically a major difference between the original Kirby Superstar here in the Super Nintendo and the DS one. We're actually playing both versions. We will be covering the DS version later on in the playthrough, but for now, we're going to mainly be taking a look at the original, because there are some key differences between the original version and the DS remake. So we're going to show off both for that reason.
I managed to make a nearly 8 to 9 minute long episode dedicated solely to Gourmet Race. that was the length I went to in terms of differences when I was recording it myself, because Ghost Kirby.
And now we're playing Dreamland again.
So you all remember that part in Dreamland where you're able to make copy abilities out of enemies? No? Well, neither does this game, because we're just going to be cheating.
Remember that weird part where Puppy Brothers Senior didn't randomly explode?
My favorite. Yeah, so if you've played the Game Boy original, this is extremely easy in comparison because of the power system. The levels weren't really designed with powers. They did their best to retool the Spring Breeze mode here for the Game Boy levels. That's why these are very short levels. But obviously, a lot of the things here, like the enemies, the bosses especially, not really that challenging, but this is supposed to be like your first mode to play in Superstar.
This is why Marley said early, like in the other playthrough we did, he says, play through Spring Breeze with no copy abilities, just to keep it traditional.
It does add a more difficult layer on top of it, so I don't blame you. And in fact, that is a thing I recommend to veterans if they find this to be too easy. Cause Wispy didn't even get an attack out outside of breathing.
Yeah, it didn't even have time to play the jingle from the Sparkling Star after the boss music faded out. That's how fast everything happened.
Yeah. Another key thing about Spring Breeze here is we don't even go to the castle Lololo. Like, that's not even a stage. They cut that out. We still fight Lolo and Lalala.
We do go to Castle Lolo. It's less of the Lolo and more just a low.
Yeah, exactly. It's very compressed because they take 2 stages and then just kind of combine them into one for Spring Breeze. I will also say the CPU abilities here as partners sometimes are really good. Sometimes are really stupid. Case in point, Waddle Doo just jumped straight into a spike.
Waddle, what are you doing?
You know, you did this to yourself, dude. I'm just gonna not help you out.
You didn't even let him run into Mr. Frosty to turn into Chili. There's Castle Lolo.
Yeah, it's just reduced to this one screen. This is a whole stage in the Game Boy game, and it's just this one area in the Spring Breeze. Pretty big downgrade.
This is gonna go quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, speaking of downgrade, here's Lolo and La La La. And with Crash, there goes Lolo and La La La.
What the heck? It just literally spawned.
Yeah, that boss doesn't really exist if you use Crash. It's very easy. Crash is a screen nuke power, and the fact that it can kill those two enemies in one shot is insane.
Oh, there's a splash beam for Castle Lolo. No, don't mind me. I'm thinking back to Return of the King and how they changed the splash screens for that. It's some of my favorite changes that they make. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you really replay this mode, that's why it's the first level of Superstar, or first like game mode Superstar. That, yeah, Dreamland wasn't really built with copy abilities in mind.
Yeah.
No.
So when you actually use copy abilities, it just makes it a joke. Case in point, watch Crackle Jr. go.
Oh my goodness!
So Fighter has an ability where when you do like the rush kick move, you can grab onto an enemy and use them as a projectile. So if you throw an enemy at Crackle Jr., it's a one shot in this version. That does also work in Ultra, but they nerfed it a bit where it almost kills Crackle Jr. He has just a slight bit of health left, so you have to punch him once after you throw an enemy into him.
Because the thing is, Fighter is effectively backdrop and throw mixed together with Ryu's moveset in Street Fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, it especially becomes pretty much the Street Fighter power in later Kirby games, because it gets a Hadouken.
It is one of my top 3 favorite copy abilities. I do love it. Hi, Bonkers. Bye, Bonkers.
Yeah, that was nice meeting him. Maybe we'll see him later.
You know, when you were feeding Knuckle Joe the food, it just reminds me of that one part of Some Call Me Johnny's review of this game where he used the Ace Ventura scene where he just feeding the birds.
Yeah, really makes you think. Is this what Kirby does with his helpers?
Sharing is caring. Rated E for everyone.
Alright, so we're almost done already. This is our final stage in Spring Breeze.
Mount DDD. For the first time, for the last time, last time.
And that mountain still looks like candy corn.
Yeah.
Well, when you're down and looking for some cheering up, then just head right on up.
This is not much of a stage, and you can use things like stone here to just combo DDD. Like, 4 stone attacks and he's dead.
I got one line into making the joke.
Wombo combo!
Yeah, so normally I used to actually play with Hammer by the time I found it with the secret exit in Bubbly Clouds, but I recently learned stone is way more effective. It's just kind of scary to use.
You've also learned the power of Fighter as well, which I solidly appreciate. Though to be fair, I do get a kick out of... Oh no, I can't get that power in that. I do get a kick out of fighting any mini-boss and just killing them with the down kick and suplex and nothing else.
Oh yeah, that's very satisfying.
I do wish I could do that with DDD and Spring Breeze, but nothing drops it, because Bugsy isn't in Spring Breeze.
Yeah. Yeah, the only way you're doing something like that is with the arena mode.
Yeah. It's fun though. Fast credits are fast.
Yeah. It's an abridged version of the credits.
I swear, if you put the to be continued at the bottom, I'm gonna cry.
No, not Kirby does it himself.
I'm sorry, I like that one too.
I like that one.